Hi, everybody. I'm Sherry, and welcome to Book Notes. This is episode 5 of a series I've begun to share some books from my bookshelf, some of the key points and takeaways that I got out of them, and how I've applied them in my life in the past and even today. So, today I wanted to feature a book that I came across in 2023, and the name of the book is The 4 Stages of Psychological Safety. And this book is written by Timothy R. Clark, Dr. Timothy Clark, who is he's a thought leader in this area, really, around psychological safety. But he's Oxford trained, he's a business consultant, and he has studied thousands of organizations over decades and has come to distill some of the points related to why some companies are able to innovate and move forward where other companies tend to stagnate. And a lot of this is around psychological safety. And I came across his book last year when I started trying to put together some cases for support for a nonprofit that I'm starting for teens, or I've started, and now we're about to level up. And we're seeking some funding, and I'm trying to articulate some of the opportunities and that we're creating for students, which is teaching them how to think innovatively, how to creatively problem solve, and to be solution focused. And so one of the buzzwords that I think is coming out now is psychological safety, and how as you shut down psychological safety, you also shut down innovation and creativity. And so I became very curious about it, and Dr. Clark's book came into my orbit last year. So I read it, loved it, and thought it had so many great applications, both in social units, family units, business units, whatever you use. Today the word is team. So whatever team you're leading, however small or large, psychological safety is a really important factor in getting to innovation and to be able to expand and move beyond status quo. So one of the things that is very business focused, and he spends a lot of time merely explaining the concept of his theory of human interaction and how there are these 4 stages. I can also see there's definitely potential for a follow-up book from Dr. Clark on how a company can cultivate each of these areas within their company. But for the purpose of this book, it's a fairly slim novel. It's a good primer. It helps set the languaging around these issues and challenges that companies face and that individuals face when they move into companies where they're trying to seek to innovate. So one of the things I was going to do today is just go through some of the key points, what the 4 stages are, and how I've applied them sort of in my desire to create a psychologically safe space for teens to learn and grow in my community. So let's start with, this is a great factoid at the beginning of the book that says there's 8 billion people, I think there's more than that probably now on Earth, and it equates to over 60 billion interactions in a day. And each one of those interactions either nourish or diminish the individual. And I think it's great because it's along lines of some of my pep talks that I do about finding out where you have energy leaks and how to feed your own energy. So anyway, each interaction either nourishes or diminishes. So it's really interesting to think about as you move throughout your day, interaction by interaction. All right, so what Dr. Clark says is that this theory of innovation, this theory of human interaction will take you from inclusion, which is the very bare minimum, all the way to the threshold of innovation, basically nurturing the innovation out of individuals, which is what we need to grow and solve a lot of the problems we have here on Earth. So he talks about the 4 stages of psychological safety being this. It's inclusion safety, learner safety, contributor safety, and challenger safety. Those are the 4 stages. And so we're going to talk about how, really, let's just talk about what each of them are, first of all. After all of the basic survival needs are met for humans, then they're looking to meet their higher needs. And one of those first higher needs, and actually some of it has to be met for your basic needs, is inclusion safety. And it is the ability to be a part of a social unit. So for a company or a family or an organization to have inclusion safety, they cannot discriminate or judge against another. So there should be the opportunity to participate for those that are interested. And that would be inclusion safety. All right, that's very basic. And it can either be legislated or not. But inclusion safety is the very minimum threshold to begin to move towards innovation. Someone has to feel included in the group first. Secondly is learner safety. And the learner safety is requiring the individual to start to participate in the process. So once they're in the group, learner safety means that the environment allows them to learn and grow, make mistakes, questions can be asked. But what's required of the individual is that they engage in the learning process. So for you to successfully navigate this stage, there's 2 parts to it. The person needs to want to engage in learning, and the organization or the unit or the family or the individual needs to be able to give them permission and respect in the learning process. Every stage talks about permission and respect. The 3rd stage is contributor safety. And contributor safety is where the individual is invited by the unit, the team, to contribute to the overall success of the team. And I believe one of the analogies he uses is where you go from preparation to performance. And he talks about being an athlete, training, practicing, and then you have the big game. And if you are able to contribute, to participate, and to play in the game, you've crossed the threshold into contributor safety because you've been invited to participate. If you're not, and you ride the bench game after game after game, while you have the inclusion safety and the learner safety, you don't yet have contributor safety. You don't feel like you've been given the confidence, the permission, and the respect to contribute. All right. And then the 4th level is challenger safety. And there has to be challenger safety for innovation to occur. And so there's a lot of stages, obviously, that we need to go through to get to challenger safety. And this is where innovation happens. And when you think about it, someone has to be able to put together 2 different things that have never been connected before and create something new to create innovation. That's the main way that innovation occurs. Or someone needs to be able to solve a problem or expand in a way that has never happened before. Therefore, it's new. It's never occurred before. So there has to be safety for that to be tried and potentially fail, or there will be no trying. If no one is safe to try and fail, there will be no trying. So one of the things that I like to talk to leaders about when you're managing a team and you really want to get the most out of the team is you have to understand that if the individual is not allowed to innovate or to put forth new ideas that could potentially fail, then the manager is pretty much sentencing the team to the status quo. In order to get out of status quo, a change has to happen. So challenger safety has to occur, although it is often squashed because of poor leadership, people that are either arrogant or insecure and don't want ideas to be brought forth from those that they feel are lower on the rung. So challenger safety really requires the openness for ideas to bubble up from anywhere. And I think that really is one of the keys when you dig into successful companies as to why they are able to innovate at such quick paces, is because they have a lot of people that are allowed to contribute to innovation. All right, so those are the 4 stages. He also goes through talking about why is this important? I mean, we obviously have said that companies need to grow, to expand, and to create opportunities for individuals to grow and expand. And that's how a successful company is sustainable across the long term. What's interesting is that Dr. Clark hasn't addressed how an individual, well, I think he does in a little bit, how to look for the safe spaces and what I would call pockets of protection within organizations when you're an innovator. Because I, for one, have been on team innovation probably since the day I was born, doing things new, asking questions, cross-pollinating ideas from different industries. And so when you operate in those types of realms, and then where you really feel that that's your calling in an organization, you are going to bump up against challenges. You have to learn how to become psychologically safe within yourself and to also find pockets of protection where there's psychological safety within an organization. And I think this is true of most organizations. There's going to be streams of safety. There's going to be pockets where it's not safe, where there's certain topics or innovations or departments that just aren't going to grow. And eventually they'll die off, they'll change, they have to. And that's just the natural part of it. When you think about a plant, I'm looking at my plant back there. There's parts that'll just die off and you just remove it and the rest of the plant can keep growing. But if you just keep this dying part there, the energy's moving into it, it's not any good. So as you're looking into companies that you either work for, you want to work with, or you're helping to coach, then you want to look at your team and where's the pockets of protection, where do the streams of innovation come from within the company, and look at those units and those teams and let's see what they're doing that's creating the kind of success that could help the rest of the company. So I think he offers a lot. I mean, this thing is jam-packed. I could talk for an hour about Dr. Clark's book. I really appreciate it because it's a way that I've been able to communicate to my board of directors for the nonprofit that I lead about what we're trying to create here so that we can raise young adults that will go on to create companies that know how to move through these stages successfully, smoothly, and to create the innovation that we need for tomorrow. So I hope that's helpful. This has been episode 5 of Book Notes. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.